In a quiet little village where the mountains embrace the sky, there lived an old woman who seemed to carry sunshine in her smile. Even on the grayest mornings, she was the first to greet the day with joy. One curious young man, puzzled by her constant cheer, finally asked her, "How do you stay so happy when life has been so hard?" Her smile deepened. She didn't give him a magic formula, just a simple truth that would change everything. She laughed gently, like someone who had already figured out life's riddle. Her eyes, whether by tears, held a story of deep pain. She told him about the day she lost her husband, not to war, not to illness, but to poverty. Life had stripped her down to her soul, but for the sake of her children, she chose to rise. And that's when her journey toward emotional resilience began. Every morning, she would find some reason, however small, to go on. Sometimes it was the smell of coffee, sometimes her child's laughter. Slowly, she began finding joy in the quiet spaces of her grief. The young man listened closely, as if someone had finally handed him a map. He began to understand that her secret wasn't luck. It was a positive mindset. This wasn't about pretending things were perfect. It was about choosing happiness even when the world felt broken. Hers was a wise woman's story, the kind passed down through generations. But she wasn't finished, not yet. There was one habit she did every morning that might have been a real root of her joy. With a voice soft like morning breeze, the old woman shared her ritual. Each day, before doing anything else, she found something to be thankful for. The sun warming her face, the sound of rain on the roof, a flower blooming near her window. It didn't have to be big. Daily gratitude, she said, was the anchor that kept her steady through every storm. Even on days when everything hurt, she could still choose to see something beautiful. And that changed everything. She explained that the mind is like a garden. If you plant bitterness, that's what grows. But if you water it with gratitude, even the driest soil will bloom. Have you ever tried starting your day by being thankful for 3 things? She asked the young man. He shook his head. Try it tomorrow. Be thankful for fresh bread, a smile from a friend, or just the breath in your lungs. This wasn't just optimism. It was emotional healing in action. It was how she created her own inner peace, one grateful thought at a time. And then she said something that hit him like lightning. Even pain passes, my dear. This too shall pass. There was no bitterness in her voice, only wisdom. She had stopped fighting life and started flowing with it. In that moment, the young man saw it clearly. This wasn't just a ritual, it was a way of being, a quiet power. And now, something was beginning to stir inside him, too, motivated by her words. The young man began trying it himself. At first, it felt strange, like wearing shoes that didn't quite fit. But with every little moment of daily gratitude, he felt lighter. Food tasted better. Conversations were richer. Even problems seemed smaller. By shifting his focus, he was changing how he felt about everything. He was beginning to discover his own version of inner peace, one small step at a time. And it wasn't just him. The story of the wise old woman spread across the village like fire on dry grass. Simple yet powerful, this uplifting story touched something deep in everyone. Soon, other villagers were waking up with a new intention: to start the day with thanks, to greet problems with grace, to share instead of isolate. A village wisdom was taking root, Children were repeating her words like ancient proverbs. And in that shared change, a new kind of peace was growing. Eventually, the young man saw it clearly. Happiness wasn't a reaction, it was a decision. He had learned one of the greatest life lessons of all. Your circumstances don't define your joy. Your attitude does. He began to spread the message himself, becoming a quiet leader in his community. His smile was different now, not because everything was easy, but because he had chosen to see life through a new lens. And that choice, that single, simple choice, made all the difference. Now tell me honestly, how many times have you let happiness slip away because you were waiting for life to get better first? The truth is, most people live as if joy is a distant reward, when in reality, it's available now, this very second. So how about doing something simple? Name 3 things you're grateful for today. A warm drink, a safe place to sleep, this story that woke something up inside of you. What that old woman taught wasn't just a feel-good idea. It was real, practical, lived. So, are you willing to train your mind to react differently to life? To swap complaints for gratitude? Everyone has their share of pain, but only those who choose a positive mindset turn that pain into wisdom. So I ask you, what will you choose today? To stay stuck or take your first step toward a peaceful life? If this story sparks something in you, don't let's stop here. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and keep learning with us. Because sometimes, all we need is a story with heart to remind us that it's still possible to choose joy.